Hi, and welcome to this session on studying abroad in Scandinavia and Iceland for UC San Diego students. My name is Emily. I'm one of the study abroad advisors, and I'm glad that you're here. So there is actually a Canvas course which outlines all of the different types of programs. There are literally thousands of ways that you can study abroad in Scandinavia and Iceland. And in this presentation, I'm not going to review all of them. I'm just going to be reviewing the most popular programs. But it's important that you understand how our programs are structured and what are the pros and cons of all of them. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend that you first start with this Canvas course and then jump back to this course. So if you haven't taken it yet, go ahead and stop this video. Check out the Canvas course and then come back. And then everything will make a little bit more sense. But for now, as a refresher, in case you forgot, UCEAP is the UC system's own study abroad program. This is where probably 90% of our students study abroad through. So those of you watching it, majority of you will be going through the UCEAP program. There's multiple advantages of the UCEAP program. For example, you can earn UC credit. Your grades will calculate straight into your UCSD GPA. And you won't have a separate transcript. You don't have to work with admissions. It just makes it somewhat of a seamless process versus the alternatives. You will receive most of your UC-based financial aid. So the only exception to that would be campus-based aid. But otherwise, majority of your financial aid will follow you with UCAP, which is a huge advantage. For the other kind of bucket of programs are global seminars. This is our second most popular program. Program is led by UC San Diego faculty and offered either summer session 1 or 2. This is a really great program for students who want that more intimate experience and only want to be with UC San Diego students. Most of these programs are not affiliated with this particular university, so it is quite a different type of experience, but extremely meaningful. Most students really enjoy their experience with it. There are 2 courses for a total of 8 units, and the class size is about 15 to 28 students. There isn't a lot of flexibility in which courses you're taking because, again, you are going specifically for 2 courses, and those 2 courses are specifically chosen for you. But like I said, this is a great program for students who want to meet other UCSD students and have a great experience with them, want like built-in travel buddies who want to get to know UCSD faculty on a more intimate setting. For example, that can increase your likelihood of getting your letter of recommendation or just getting that more one-on-one time with faculty members. So highly recommend that program. And then you could think of that last bucket as like all the other programs. So the UCAP, which majority of you will attend, global seminars, which a fair number of you will also be interested in, and then there's like everything else. So this will include our global exchange program. That's a reciprocal agreement between our university and another university abroad, where you only pay the UCSD tuition. There's some pros and cons of that program. There's also the Opportunities Abroad program, which just means all of the other programs out there. There's a number of providers that you can go through. And in this presentation, I don't have time to like talk about every single one of them, but just know that that is an option, and the Canva course goes into that in much more detail. But for this presentation, I'll focus mostly on UCEAP and global seminars because that is where most of the students are most interested in. So really quickly, here is a quick map of Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, which are the countries we'll be featuring. Iceland is kind of off the map, but I'll start with Scandinavia. But one thing I really quickly want to mention is that to get from Oslo to Copenhagen, there is a train line. There are multiple public transportation options. And so that's just something to keep in mind as you're thinking about all of these places. So we'll start with Denmark. There's a number of programs within Denmark. So the first is the University of Copenhagen. This is a quite popular program for us, mostly because the city is extremely student friendly, really great public transportation, super bike friendly. Collegiums are almost like residence halls, like that they're located throughout the city. So there's a lot of housing options. Food can be quite expensive, but most of the collegiums have like kitchen, like little kitchenettes that you can cook. So that's something to keep in mind. Nightlife is really great. And then this particular university is really strong in STEM and social sciences. There are internship and research opportunities, and there are also student orgs. And a buddy program is where they will patch you with one of the local students to help integrate you into the local campus community. And so that's a really great option for students who want a university with a lot of infrastructure, who's used to having a lot of international students. They have just a lot of, again, infrastructure to help immerse you into their campus. Aarhus University is a little less popular, but mostly it's because it is a quieter city. So again, it's still great public transportation and it's still very bike friendly. But this, I would recommend this if you want a more like college town feel, if you want like a smaller city. And less of the hustle bustle of Copenhagen. They are particularly strong in psychology and social work, business and political science, also sociology, economics, and anthropology, but mostly the top three. But most students really enjoy their experience there and feel like they really got to understand the Danish history, the Danish culture, and they really like being in a much more small, quiet setting. And then we have Copenhagen Business School. This is only a summer program. But obviously is known for their business, economics, finance, and accounting, management, marketing, and statistics courses. You can take two 6-unit courses for a 6-week summer program. So if you are studying, for example, business and economics, this is a great program for you, especially if you're only interested in the summer. Again, there's plenty of housing around the city because it's in Copenhagen. And there's lots of public transportation that's super bike friendly. I also want to highlight a global seminar that will be occurring in Copenhagen. So this program is taught by our own UCSD faculty member, Thomas Schmidt, who works in communications. Again, this is only going to be during the summer. You'll be traveling with that UCSD faculty member and pretty much mostly UCSD students. There may be one or two other UC students, but most majority of them will be UCSD students. And this program is focused all about digital media literacy and is taught in a project-based learning approach. And so it is a very interesting topic, taught in a much more interactive method than most of our UCSD courses. It is open to all students, but seventh college students in particular can fulfill both major and GE requirements. So we especially encourage seventh college students, but really any student could take this course too. And so this is another program we highly recommend within Denmark. Then over to Sweden, we have one extremely popular university, which is Lund University. Lund is also known for being an extremely student-friendly town. Lund is similar to maybe more like UC Davis, where the university is a significant portion of the town, like mostly is, makes up most of it. And so there are pros and cons to that if you want to be in a more rural area and more of that college town feel, which we sometimes lose with UC San Diego. Lund is a really great option for that. Most students either bus or bike to school. So there's a very robust busing system. But again, most students really just get a bike and enjoy biking on and off. You can live on or off campus, which is quite unique. So most of the other programs, I only have one of the options, but that has both. And then if you are nervous about living in a small town, it's 45 minutes to get to a train to Copenhagen. So you get to a very, very large city very quickly, but you don't have to live in that large city. So that's something to keep in mind. Lund is particularly strong in STEM and the social sciences. So oftentimes students come to me and are interested in engineering, mathematics, physics, those types of majors. Lund is extremely strong in. Not only are they strong in, but they have a good number of courses in English that will transfer over to UCSD. So we highly recommend it for that. There are internship and research opportunities. And again, they also have a buddy program. This program is really unique because they have a extremely robust support network for international students as well. And so, but they actually have staff that's dedicated to visiting students. And so, there's a lot of ways to help integrate you into the local community, into the university, and to offer that extra support if you need it. Another one of our countries in Scandinavia is Norway. Um, and within Norway, you have the option of University of Oslo. And this is a very cosmopolitan city. It's between the water and the forest. There's a lot of public transportation options, and then there's also a train from the city center to the airport. So you pretty much can get most places by train. And then they're also really great nightlife. And so they're this particular university also is really strong in the social sciences, health, and natural sciences, humanities, education, and then the law department. Um, so there there is one city campus, and then there's one campus that is right in the forest is what they call it. But it's right by one of the ski runs. So if you're an avid skier, this is a great choice for you. There are dorms on campus and you can cook or you can eat on campus. But this is just another one of the options for you if you're interested in Norway. And then we have our Iceland program. So technically, Iceland is not a part of Scandinavia, but I put them together because a lot of students who are interested in Scandinavia are also interested in Iceland. So we do have one university, which is the University of Iceland. It is located in Reykjavik, which is the capital. Um, the it is only open to certain majors. We are working on opening it up to more majors, but these are the majors that tend to go and have the most availability of courses. So just keep that in mind. The other one thing to keep in mind is that it is quite expensive for UCSC students. So that is just another footnote within this program. But if you're interested in any of these programs that I've mentioned, you could also check out the UCEP Virtual Study Abroad Fair, which will be occurring on the 23rd. So here's a QR code for that. And we highly recommend for you to join so you can learn more about all of these programs. And thank you very much.